If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player performance.
Punchy, why lose combat? I told everybody here, we do this for real on a high level. We do this like no other cappers in the business. I want to prove it to you guys week in and week out, not just with winning the bets like we've been doing it. I'll show you guys how real this is. We have a BKFC, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, our very own Why Lose Combat fighter, Steven Tomahawk Townsend, fighting this weekend, Friday, December 5th. We're going against the Cuban Horse. But I want to introduce everybody to Tomahawk here. Let's make sure we're on the same page. He's going to give us a little insight to what's been going on in fight week behind the scenes. We'll get you a couple free picks for that, not to mention UFC 323. Tomahawk, my boy, you ready or what?
What's going on, man? Super ready. Super happy to be on the podcast, man. Why lose?
Shoot.
If you ain't on it, you need to get on it, peoples.
My boy, forget you on the team. When I always talk about the baddest crew in combat sports betting, you guys know, anyone that follows me, I put that stuff on there. I'm not talking about just me. Tomahawk, we got the Black Widow. I'm trying to get him here. Every Wednesday he's got a haircut. I'm trying to get him to switch his haircut at fucking appointments. You know? But listen, man, I can't stress enough how important and how much I appreciate you coming out for fight week. Anybody that, is in this business, anybody that's fought, coached, trained, anything like that, knows fight week is a fucking mess. How many guys are hitting you up for tickets now after you told them, don't hit me up, right? Now we're cutting weight, like that good stuff. Let's get right into this. BKFC 85, Hard Rock Casino in Florida, basically your hometown. That's your at Madison Square Garden, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My guy. You're going against Julian Perez, Perez, right? Julio Perez. Here's the thing. I watched his fight against Esteban Rodriguez. Now, that was a 3-second knockout. This guy's 6'4", big, tall guy. If you know me, guys that follow me, I'm a sucker for Cuban fighting usually. I usually love those. And you know how many times I've been burned? I got burned on Robles de España in UFC, the 6'7" Cuban. These guys are usually slick, but soft. 6'4", he's got you're about 6'2". This fight's in the cruiserweight division, right? 205 pounds?
Yeah, man.
So tell me, what do you walk around at? What are you going to be fighting at? Tomorrow is the weigh-in. Give us a little bit behind the scenes on that, if you don't mind, brother.
I usually walk around about 235, 240, man. That's walk around weight. That's me eating and carrying on. Not camp training, but I'm year-round training. I'm year-round in the gym. So, that's always just a part of life. We fight and weigh in at 205. That'll be this Thursday. We'll be weighing, which is tomorrow. I normally probably cut about 10, 15 pounds within last minute, like probably the morning of weigh-ins. Super easy for me. I got everything down to a science. I don't suggest everybody just thinking that they're going to cut this water weight or do these different things. Yeah. This is years upon years of knowing my body, knowing what I'm able to get done and perfecting it. So tomorrow we'll weigh in at about 205, the most 206. They give me 1 pound leniency. And then come fight night, we'll probably weigh back in between 225 and 230. And that's just rehydration. That's also weighed in with your shoes on. So, you're probably averaging a couple pounds here and there. But I rehydrate well. Muscles fill back up. I'm never not eating. I'll eat today. I'm never starving myself. Like I said, this is a science. And if you end up starving yourself and doing all these things, now you're going to war with a very untaken care of machine, So I keep it oiled, make sure that everything and the nutrients are getting inside, so I'm able to train the entire time. And like I said, it's a science. So everything's been perfect, been running super good this entire camp. Hands are holding up, feeling amazing. I want to say that this is probably the best condition I think I've been in, and I think a lot of that has to do with fight IQ these days. And no one thinks that. Everybody thinks, oh, I can run miles and I can do this and that. But really, it's knowing when and where and how to use your skills.
I tell my fighters all the time, everyone's got two hands. There's no LeBron James who's 6'9" and can jump. There's no 6'5" quarterback who's going to save us. If you have a bad game in basketball, okay, this guy will take it. This guy will hit a home run. There's advantages that you can have in other sports. Fighting, it's not like that. You might have a taller guy. You got two hands. That's all your ammunition. If you don't know how to use them, doesn't matter how strong the bullet is. If you can't shoot it right, it's not going to matter. Now, guys are always amazed that they could get back up in weight, cut down weight, come back up in weight. I've lost more fights than I want to admit as a coach, even on the scales. That's a real thing. You know that. What do you normally do to cut down a little bit there? Are you a guy that some guys run, some guys will do a lot of exercise, some guys just kind of heat it off? And have you done it to the point where you know exactly what you're comfortable with? Or is it something that, I'm still pulling from this guy, I'm still trying things out? You said it yourself, you got it down to an exact science. When and how long did it take you to even get to that science? And more importantly, when do you really kind of, on fight day, how long does it take you to really get back in there? Like, I'm muscles full. How long does that take?
So cutting weight doesn't happen in a day, and it doesn't happen in a week. It shouldn't be a drastic thing. It should be definitely something that I do over time. So whether I have a 6-week, 8-week, 12-week camp, I start implementing things then. And I'm not saying that I get super strict all at once, man. I'm a fat kid at heart, man. I love cakes and cookies and
I fought heavyweight too, my brother.
Like that's why I fought heavyweight for so many years. Real deal is you've just got to figure out what you want more, man. Do you want to win and get to where you need to be and do the right thing and stay strict on your diet, or do you want to just think you're going to do it all at once to where you're really hurting yourself? So my weight cut doesn't start fight week or fight day.
Huge difference.
Starts 8 weeks out, and it's not my cut. There's my diet. So now I'm losing the pounds. Even if it's a couple pounds per week, I'm doing that through a calorie deficit, eating clean, not putting the trash in my body. I'm a machine, and if I don't treat it right, I'm not going to run right. That's the deal. And it took years. Like I said, I'm only 10 years in the fight game. I played football before that. And it was just a different monster. So through these 10 years, I've just kind of found what works for me, and everybody's different. So what works for me might not work for you, but the science is all still the same and the data is still the same. So everything runs off numbers. If you're guessing, oh, what did I eat today? How many calories was it? Or how much do I weigh? Or what's this? If you're guessing these things, you're going to stress yourself out. That's a huge stress for anybody that don't know what's going on. But if you have a way to collect data and see the numbers in front of you, you're good.
Now you sound like a gambler.
Nah, right? That's right? What it is. Everything.
And that's kind of the reason I wanted to go into the weight cut is that me personally, I used to use that a lot in combat sports betting to kind of get an edge. Well, this guy's got experience. He knows how to cut weight. You said it numerous times. You know how to cut weight. 22-year-old kid coming in, no matter what, he just doesn't have the experience. He could have been doing it since he was 12. Your body's changing so much. 20 is a different point than 25. 25 is different than 30. So by the time you know your body, this is an advantage. Now, the guy you're going against, I don't know if he's going to be cutting as much weight. I don't know exactly what he walks in at here. Odds haven't come out yet on BKFC. What do you put yourself at? What are you putting the odds at on this fight so far?
Man, I'm doing it in the second round. So, like, second, third round tops. We ain't going past that. It is my fight. I like the guy. So I know him on a personal basis.
That helps.
Isn't just, I know him on a personal basis.
Have you sparred him?
I've never sparred him before. I'm back and forth. Miami is a second home to me. So it's like I'm back and forth, and all those guys down there, man, you can't get away from each other. We're just –
everybody knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody. Gyms go to gyms. Coaches know coaches. Super good dude. He did lose his last fight, and he lost it quickly. That could be the best thing that ever happened to him. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes those losses make you even better. You come back better than you've ever been before, and that's how I look at it. I look at it like this man is training. He's got something to prove, and he's coming for my head. Guess what? I'm coming for yours too. You know what I mean?
That's another thing. You're being active now. You just fought back in July. You're fighting again in December. I've heard some birdies telling me in my ear you've already got something lined up once this fight goes well, coming in the forthcoming. That's most important, especially a guy like you who knows what he's doing. You're ready to go here. Now, more importantly than that, even so to speak, strategy-wise, when you're fighting a shorter guy, taller guy, give these guys a little insight about what you're going to be looking for. And I don't give too much over here, but just general concepts of
Man, I will
taller
tell
guy
you
fighting shorter
exactly
guy.
what I'm going to do, and it don't matter. Stop me.
Oh,
That's your
boy.
plan, man. I post my pad work. I'll post training sessions. None of that stuff matters to me. I'm never hiding nothing. I'm a new person every single time I fight, and every time I fight,
Should be getting better every time.
there's a new strategy for every person. Nobody's the same. He's not going to be the same as he was last time. The things that I do know, he is 6'4". He has an 80-inch reach. He's long, and he would prefer to stay long. All right, well, hey, I don't want you to have that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get inside on him, touch up him a little bit. My jab's going to be super effective. I'm going to double, triple that jab up. I'm going to go upstairs, downstairs, and right back upstairs. He's got a long torso. When you're that long, man, not only do you got
That
long
body.
arms, but that body is long, son.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to find it. And we're just going to test it out, you know? I feel like if I touch him a couple times in that body, that's going to drop his hands a little bit. He tends to keep his chin up a little bit when he throws his punches.
Tall guys
Man,
do.
look here, man. I told
Southpaw
you.
also, right?
We're both southpaws. So this is my first BKFC fight against the southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who
Ain't
you are,
nothing
man.
for that.
Nope. And I'm going to bounce back and forth, man. I'm going to be between orthodox and southpaw. We're going to find out. It's a puzzle. I'm going to figure out what's going to exactly work. No for sure plan, but I've got plans. You know what I'm saying? So no for sure plan. I'm going to run it off of him. I'm going to take away everything that he thinks he has because he's got nothing for me.
Listen, we're all looking forward to this, my boy. I told you. I have a fight that same weekend. Otherwise, I would have been down out there in Florida. I'm trying to get down there for one of your fights. But I got a fight going off this weekend here. But listen, especially with these Cubans, you know what I was saying to you earlier. Bust these motherfuckers up.
Listen,
Cubans
man,
are beautiful. Bust them up.
I train in Miami with the Cuban gym. A lot of my footwork has come from some of these Cubans, as well as my coach now.
Exactly.
Coach Byron has done absolutely everything for me down here. He spends the extra time with me, make sure that we're perfecting every single little bit of thing. And once again, every camp, every fight is a new strategy and a new technique. So
start fresh. Exactly.
yeah,
you know what they say. You know, Boss Jay used to say to me back in the day, you're only as good as your last envelope, right? Same stuff in training camps, right? You're only as good as your last day, so to speak, here. Now, you watch UFC, obviously, here. I know you fought amateur MMA. We know we got a big pay-per-view coming up this weekend here. Just my luck, I'm stuck with freaking Mirab. This is the guy's name. I'll never get his fucking last name if you paid me, right? Devalshi. I couldn't get it. I've been cheating, and I just say Mirab usually here. But we've got Mirab going against Peter Yan. Give us a little bit of a pro fighter's insight look into that, where you were looking at. I don't need full analysis in depth. Tell me man to man what you'd be putting your money on and why.
Man, I hate betting against Yan, man, but I'm gonna think that Marab is just gonna wrestle fuck him and put him in a very uncomfortable positions, and that's what MMA has become. I don't want to say it's boring, you know what I mean? But man, these wrestlers are laying on people, just locking them down, and
you can say it's boring, flat out. You know, we know fighting. So sure, we can see it from a different perspective.
I love the technique of it. I love the skill level. I love watching the chess matches. But for the regular, everyday person that watches these fights, they're coming to BKFC because you don't got to know a whole lot and you getting blasted back to back.
I got a 13-year-old son. What do you think we watching? Period. That's what it is. It's tough for me to sit there and say, no, you don't know he's moving his... Bro, I showed him your highlights, brother. We'll be at Knuckle Mania in February. I think that's in Philly or
I think
we're
going to slide up, man. I think we're coming up for that one. Me and the Black Widow, man, Rue, we probably going to take that trip. I missed the last one up there. I don't want to miss this one. So
I was there with Ben Rothwell, bro. He hasn't fought since, has he?
Ben's cool. Nah, Ben hasn't fought since, man. Ben's cool people, man. We've had a bunch of conversations and talk on a regular.
Boy.
That's a big old man, man. Shoot.
Plus 250 for the knockout that night. Don't forget, I gave that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Jan's gonna have enough to get away from all that grappling and that that groundwork.
Cardio, right? I never seen nothing like that.
No, and Jan is a monster. Jan, he is a beast. So
Uh-huh.
let's see who's chess match and who's able to pull it out. I think, yeah, I think Jan's going down on this one. I wouldn't bet with him.
Yeah, another one. Now, here's what I was looking at. This is a guy I've been following a little more in depth here. This is what I'm going to be giving out for the free pick here. Tatsuro Tara. He's going against Brandon Moreno. Now, Moreno's one of my guys I've always kind of liked, but Tara's one of those guys with the submissions, with the slick grappling, that I feel is just going to catch Brandon Moreno here. Tatsuro Tara, he opened up about -110. It's already about -130. You know what's been going on with the betting and MMA scandals and all that. So when those lines move, they're usually right nonetheless, though. You followed anything with Tatsuro Tara? You know anything about that fight? Brandon Moreno, I know he's a
I don't.
knockout guy.
I love Brandon. I love his energy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Outside the ring, that dude's just an amazing guy, man. When you got energy like that, it's hard to ever for me to bet against somebody. But money is money, and if we're gonna bet, you know what I'm saying, you want to ride with the winner on things and what's really gonna make sense. So you got to bet with your head, not your heart.
You the man, brother. You the
So
man.
I don't really I don't know enough about Buddy, so I can't really except go off the numbers and what everybody's pushing.
Of course. Like I said, similar thing, especially with this stuff. Even this footage, like you said yourself, you were alluding to it. Fighters change every fight. Just what they did last fight. It's hard to even watch film off a guy from a last fight. Next fight, you're looking at a whole different breed, a whole different monster here. So you kind of try to do both with the with the numbers, with the finding film, doing all that stuff. The real trick is having an edge like this. If we got edges like this where we have pro fighters in the building, coaches in the building, guys that have that edge, that know what goes into a weight cut, what goes into a training camp, what it's like fighting a southpaw, what it's like to fight a 6'4" guy. All this stuff is the reason why, like I said, when we say the baddest crew in combat sports betting, this is why. This is an edge that you're not going to get anyplace else. Tomahawk's not doing a media circuit talking about this shit openly for everybody here. Make sure you're all with us. Bigger than that, I want each and every one of you guys that are following us, support Tomahawk. December 5th, we're going against Julio Perez, the Cuban horse baby. Manos de Piedra, right? The rumor was Roberto Duran knocked out a horse when he was a kid.
Yeah.
We're going to eat some horse meat come Friday.
Let's go. You
My
ever
boy, take us
seen
home.
Scarface, right? The guy
right?
where he puts the horse's head in his bed.
Godfather, there it
a
is.
horse head in the bed, baby. Let's go.
My boy. Tomahawk, good luck, my boy. I appreciate you more than you know. Everybody else, bigger than that, like I said, UFC 323 this weekend. If you're not a member, two things. $365 for the entire year. It's this deal that I'm keeping on the table. Strap up, join up, make sure you're with us. I am locking in a 100-star monster. Tatsuro Tara for the free pick for everybody. I'll have all this officially. Bigger than that, if you've got a horse, bet him. Tomahawk this weekend. BK FC 85. Tomahawk, I appreciate it. Let's get it, my boy.
Let's go, brother. Let's go.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.